The movement for the survival of the Ogoni people, also known as MOSOP, has called for investigations into $300 million, an equivalent of about 480 billion naira, meant for compensation and infrastructural development in Ogoni that was allegedly looted by a few individuals within and other parts of Rivers State. Well, joining me right now to discuss this is Dr. Fabeke Douglas, is the president of the Ogoni Liberation Initiative. He joins virtually from Rivers. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Douglas, if you can hear me, this, of course, are pretty much weighty allegations around misappropriation of about $300 million. Of course, would you want to shed light or take us through what you discovered as a group before we go to your demands?
The position is not okay. Is it okay by you?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
I'm okay. Yes, are you hearing me? Okay, good evening, and thank you for having me this night. This information about the $200 million is no longer a secret news. It is the money that was meant for the Ogoni people. It is the money that was meant for the communities, and we are out to make sure we do justice to make sure that money is recovered. We are also out to make sure that NNPC tell us why the money was paid to the Rivers State government. When you talk about the $200 million that was mismanaged, I was part of the negotiator of that money. In 2018 to 19, we filed a case against Shell, SPDC, at the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, and asking Shell to pay compensation to the Ogoni community. Okay, so can I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So we filed a case against Shell 2018. We have been in court, and that matter has been in court for 4 years. We're asking Shell to pay us compensation. And Shell came forward and said they are no longer operating in Ogoni, so they are not entitled to pay compensation. That it is NNPC that is operating. Within this period, I was invited by the
We are having a bit of a difficulty trying to connect with Dr. Fabeke Douglas, is the president of the Ogoni Liberation Initiative, joining virtually from Rivers State. Dr. Douglas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm trying to give you some information.
Yes, we lost you for a moment. Please pick up, sir. Pick up. Kindly pick up from where you stopped.
Okay, are you hearing my voice? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was invited by NNPC to see how we can settle that matter out of court, and so that the money can be paid to the community. So on that process, we discovered that there was a judgment against the federal government, and that judgment was given by the Federal High Court that federal government should renew the license of OM11 back to Shell for 20 years. And the GMD said if this matter is not being appealed, for government to get the victory to take back the license, it will be difficult for our demands to be responded to by the federal government, because Shell is no longer in Ogoni. And by the record we have, it is NNPC that should be held responsible for all what is happening in Ogoni. So I listened to him, and we work on the process of see how we can join hands together with NNPC to appeal the case against Shell. And that process, we came into the matter as community to provide facts and evidences of why Shell could not return back to Ogoni again as a result of the human rights violations and other activities that have taken place in Ogoni. And so there was a resolution between us and NNPC, headed by the former GMD engineer Mele Kare, that if this case is declared in favor of federal government, that the federal government will have every opportunity to discuss the operation of resumption in Ogoni with the Ogoni community on a very transparent template. And I was able to move all the communities, asking the community to withdraw all the cases from the court and summarize everything in an executive summary and hand it over to the former GMD NPC in Abuja. I think, and I spent over 3 months in Abuja, and I brought in a consultant who mediated between Share NPDC and the federal government. On the 16th of August 2021, the case was declared in favor of federal government. And that same August, 15 days after the case was declared in favor of federal government, I held a very big meeting in Bori where all the community attended the meetings. NNPC was fully represented. The MPDC was also there. The GMD, Engineer Melekari, came into Port Harcourt, but could not attend the meeting the following day because of other activities. And so the meeting was held in Bori. And after the meeting was held, we have about 3,260 persons attended that meeting that very particular day. We have the record of the meeting, we have the details of the meeting, we have the agreement.
Dr. Douglas,
of the meeting, and we have all the promises that in.
Dr. Douglas, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I need to come in here. But can you just confirm that this money is that's about $300 million? Can you confirm?
That is yes. I can confirm to you because I was part of the negotiator.
So the money was actually paid.
Yes, it was paid. It is on record. Last week, I have submitted some details attached to an official letter to the new GMD of NNPC to see how he can visit the record and see how we can reconcile this issue.
Okay.
I've also written to the River State Solar Administrator to see how he can intervene in this issue. I also wrote to the Governor Sim Fubara when he was on seat before the suspension to see how this issue can be reconciled. Yes, the money was paid. Why I said the money was paid because I follow up the negotiation process between NNPC and Shell. Shell handed over to NNPC.
All right. So who was the money paid to? Was it paid to the River State government? Who was the recipient of this money?
Well, you can check. There is a record which we have written to the River State government. There's a record that the River State government, State House of Assembly, former State of Assembly, authorized the former governor to settle this matter out of court. And I can also testify that there is also a record that when the River State government said they are taking over Women 11, he invited all the Ogoni community to come to government house where the Ogoni communities pledged their support. And now, when the matter was approved, I discovered that the community were no longer invited. We also getting the information, and we also getting a detail that a particular community was giving 1 billion naira, and that community is ready to testify. Why was the community giving 1 billion naira? Matter was settled out of court. It is a matter that we join hand with NNPC to make sure that the federal government was giving victory from appeal court on OMN 11. So if somebody say you have taken over OMN 11 comprises all the communities in Ogoni.
All right.
Meanwhile, a particular community was mentioned. And because that community was mentioned, 1 billion naira was given. So I want to ask a question here. The River State House of Assembly, who authorized the former governor to settle this matter out of court, which of the Ogoni community was involved in the settlement out of court? Why were we not invited for the settlement out of court? I was in Lagos.
All right, Dr. Douglas, we'll definitely pick up on this. I know you have a lot to say, Dr. Douglas, but we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll definitely continue the conversation. And also join in the conversation when we get back is Fegalo Nsuke. He is MOSOP president. Will also be joining virtually from River State. It's Politics HQ. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television, and of course we are speaking on a pivotal issue here as regards the alleged misappropriation of about $300 million paid, as compensation to for the, of course, development of the Niger Delta region. But joining this conversation right now is Mr. Fegalo Nsuke, is the MOSOP president. Of course, I still have Dr. Fabeke Douglas, who's the president of the Ogoni Liberation Initiative. Both men are joining virtually from Rivers. Thank you for your time. Now, let me leave you for a moment, Dr. Douglas, and let me bring in Mr. Fegalo Nsuke. He's the MOSOP president. Dr. Douglas did confirm that this money was actually paid, but the MOSOP group is saying that, look, this money has been misused, misappropriated, and you are asking for an investigation. You are the MOSOP president. What's your position on this matter as regards these funds?
Okay, thank you very much. For the movement for the survival of the Ogoni people, our concern is the state of Ogoni. And not just that. We are concerned that this kind of money was allocated for community development, and we did not see the money. So for us that have been, advocating for the development of Ogoni, we want to see an end to this conflict. We want to see a permanent resolution of this 3-decade conflict with the oil industry. And we feel that...
I'm sorry, Doctor. Mr. Nsuke, if you can hear me, we are having a difficulty with your connection. It appears to echo. So maybe we would try to look into all of that while, of course, I go back to Dr. Douglas on this one. Dr. Douglas, you did say that you were part of the negotiation process. At some point, a decision was reached to settle out of court, and that it appears that some form of hanky-panky is being played, along the way. You said that, and you even put a question to the Rivers State House of Assembly, questioning some of their decisions and actions on this matter. I would like you to elaborate more on this.
Yes, and on October 26th of August, 26th of October, the former Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Akuri Owaji Ibani, and a special committee in Rivers State House of Assembly, 26th of October 2022, wrote a special letter to His Excellency, the former Governor of Rivers State, to settle this matter out of court with NNPC. Now, before the Rivers State House of Assembly wrote this letter to former governor, we already won the case, since the case was decided 16th of August 2021. And the GMD NNPC keep assuring me that they have to settle with the Rivers State government before they settle with the Ogoni people. I was part of the process. There was a committee set up by the former president, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. And we had the first meeting at the hotel in Lagos. I was invited on Sunday to come for a special meeting. The meeting centered on how are they going to reach out to the Ogoni people to settle them and to appreciate them for the longer years they have waited on so far this environmental degradation. I led that meeting and I assured the GMB that if there is transparency, if there is commitment and a compassion to settle the Ogoni matter, Ogoni people will be ready to receive it. He asked me a question, I quote, I have all the messages on my WhatsApp, I have all the communication on my phone, I have all the evidences on document, I have all the evidences in paper. He asked me to go home and select community leaders. And I told him, I said, look, all the oil-bearing community leaders must be present in this meeting. And I gave him a list of, I have all the community, the names of all the Ogoni communities in my head. I don't even need to go home and consult anybody. And so I told him, I said, look, all the host community, all the communities in Ogoni, we have 4 local governments and 6 kingdoms. They are going to be present in the meeting. He agreed with me and also advised me.
All right.
To make sure I choose a representative.
Dr. Douglas, I know you have a lot to say, but we are really trying to manage time. I think we have, if you can hear me, Dr. Douglas. Dr. Douglas, you definitely have the stage, but let's listen to the MOSOP president right now. I understand that we are able to connect with him now. Mr. Nsuke, the floor is yours. You are trying to establish a point.
Yes, so my point is this. We've had, hello? Yes, yeah. My point is this. We've had a crisis for 3 decades, and we've been struggling to find a solution. $300 million, equivalent of 480 billion naira, is something that should have been able to address infrastructural issues in Ogoni. With that money, I mean, we will have been able to fix the schools, the hospitals, electricity, and of course, fixing electricity means that you can power entrepreneurship, and you will have been able to address issues of road and all of that. And at this point, especially now that the government is thinking of resuming production in Ogoni, that kind of money will have paved way for an easy resolution of this issue. And this money is in people's pockets. And that is why we are saying this issue should be investigated. Because as a matter of fact, that money diverted is prolonging this conflict. And it will further prolong this conflict if we think that we can set it aside. Because $300 million US, I mean, that's like the budget of some states in Nigeria for 4 years. More than sufficient to address most of the issues that Ogoni has raised. And now we hear that this can, I mean, we see that this kind of money was voted for Ogoni development and people diverted it. People focus. It's something that we cannot be silent about, and it's something the government should not be silent about. So what we are calling for simply is that the government should investigate this issue, because we cannot have this crisis of over 3 decades, and the crisis is looking insurmountable. It's looking very complicated. It's so difficult to address. Whereas there had been something that looks like a solution. There had been something that would have actually facilitated a resolution. $300 million being voted into Ogoni will have addressed a whole lot of issues that people have. And I can tell by today, we wouldn't have been, the discussion we are holding now is not what we have been holding. What we'll have been talking about now is how we ensure that this oil production, this oil resumption thing works with the interest of everybody. I mean, in kind of the interest of everybody. But here we are. We have the entire system being sabotaged by those who had to, I mean, divert these funds. And so that's what we are saying.
Okay.
We are worried that there would have been a solution to this problem.
What makes you, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Nsuke, but what makes you think that this funds was actually misappropriated or diverted?
See, it's not the first time it's not the first time people are talking about this. It's something we.
Apparently, we are having a bit of connectivity issues with Mr. Nsuke. He's the MOSOP president. I think we have him back now. Can you hear me?
Member of the House of Reps, Honorable Boma Goodhead, did raise this issue. Ogonis in the diaspora have also raised this issue. MOSOP has raised this issue before now, but nothing has been done. It is not as if the money was not paid, or we are not sure the money was paid. The money was paid. What we are saying is that they thought we wouldn't know, and we know. And what we are saying is that they should bring this money because we need to address the Ogoni problem. And I can say that $300 million is more than sufficient to address the issues of roads, health, education, electricity, and a whole lot of other things. It is more than sufficient to deal with that. We want this matter to be addressed. We want this matter to be investigated, because this issue of squandering money, public funds that will have addressed social problems, is something that I think that Nigeria needs to take very seriously. We've seen that again. We saw this again in the cleanup process, where $1 billion is being spent, and only till this minute has not gotten water. As common as water, Ogoni does not have. And $1 billion have gone. We call for an investigation into the way the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project has managed that fund. Former head of state, former President Muhammadu Buhari, ordered an investigation. Till this minute, that report was not released. Under Buhari, it was not released. And up till this minute, it has not been released. But $1 billion has gone into the system. And I can tell you, these are the real problems we face. People are able to get away with crime. People are able to get away with doing the wrong things.
All right.
And that is the real problem. If people will be held to account when they do the wrong thing, I think that our system will work.
Okay.
So what we are basically saying is the government should commission an inquiry into the $300 million that was assigned for development in Ogoni, that was assigned for infrastructure development and all of that in Ogoni. Let us know what happened to the money.
Okay. All right. We'll go on a quick break. If you can hear me, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll definitely take our final thoughts on this matter. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have my guest with me. Dr. Fabeke Douglas is the president of the Ogoni Liberation Initiative, and also Mr. Fegalo Nsuke is a MOSOP president. Both men are joining virtually from Rivers State. Thank you for staying with me. Quickly, Dr. Douglas, before I let you go, in 30 seconds, what do you want? What are your demands on this matter?
Our demand is that NNPC, we have given evidences and facts and figures about this matter to NNPC last week. We have also reached out to Mr. President. We want them to review the process of the handing over of share to NNPC, what happened. Because when we talk about the $300 million, the $300 million was just the money.
I think
that was politicized. So what we need, we want this matter to be investigated. We want the president to intervene in this matter to make sure that money is recovered. If that money is not recovered, it's going to be one of the great injustices against the Ogoni people. And I can assure you, we're not going to stop here. We are going to move further to make sure we cry loud globally to make sure that everybody sees that justice is being done. Because you cannot, I at the same time want to commend Shell. Shell follow up all the negotiation process during that period. Meeting was held in.
All right, Dr. Douglas, your point, of course, has been duly taken. But let me also pose the same question to Mr. Nsuke. Mr. Nsuke, in 30 seconds, what would you consider justice, for the Ogoni people on this matter?
Let me repeat what Dr. Douglas has just said. What I want to say is very simple. We want a solution to the Ogoni problem. And this money is one way we should have been able to drive the solution. We do not want to prolong this whole thing, and so they should help us. And the way they can help is recover this money and put it to work for Ogoni. We need, because, if we're able to add, that money is more than sufficient, like I said, to address the issue of healthcare delivery in Ogoni, education, entrepreneurship development, electricity, roads. That's significant. When you get that done for Ogoni, you will see that you have paved the way for an easy resolution of the conflict. And so whoever took that money simply did Ogoni great disservice. And we want that matter to be investigated because we want this problem to be resolved as quickly as possible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Of course, Dr. Douglas, thank you so much. He's the president of the Ogoni Liberation Initiative. And also Mr. Fegalo Nsuke is the MOSOP president. Once again, gentlemen, thank you for your time.